Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Are you okay? In your neck of the
When we dry them up, too cold. Now go too deep, you know. Yeah, you have to watch Joe, you know. Our troops, see there? Apple cider vinegar and our troops. Come up right, make them get saturated in the gravy and all of that.
On today's episode of the Jamaican Cooking Journey, I'll be sharing with you how to make some donuts. You can make your donuts at home, and I think donuts is a family-friendly little dessert. So for my donut recipe, or the basic donut recipe, you're gonna need some flour, you're gonna need some yeast, of course, a little granulated sugar. So in here I have 2 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. You could use cake flour or baking flour. I have 1 tablespoon and a little of instant yeast. I'm using the instant one. And I have 2 tablespoons of white granulated sugar. Now, the difference right here is that I'll be using some freshly done coconut milk. Okay? So, I am going to be putting my coconut milk to warm, to come to a temperature of no hotter than about 190. You just want to do it slow, and I'll show you when that is ready. Now what I'm going to be doing here, I'm going to be combining. We're going to use salt, but try not to put your salt directly onto the yeast, okay? So I'll be dissolving my salt and my egg. You're going to need 1 egg, yolk and all in the mixture. So you got to take care, if it gets too hot, you got to let it cool down. So I'm going to be giving this, the dry ingredients, a thorough mixing. So in the next clip I'll have my warmed milk. As I told you, you can use milk, you can even use water. Use your milk of choice. I'm using coconut milk. Okay, I'm gonna put in about, do your measurement, about 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Okay, my egg, I am gonna beat in my egg yolk. Now remember, your mixture, your milk or your water or whatever must be warm. So we're gonna beat in this egg. You don't want it hot, it will kill the yeast. Also you have to have scrambled egg and all of that. So we have added our salt, we have added our egg. I'm gonna put about a tablespoon and a half or 2 of oil. Light vegetable oil. You can put olive oil if you want to. And we're gonna whisk that around, whisk it right around, nice and, so you see it's warm. I'm using my KitchenAid to do this. You could do this by hand, which, some people want to probably do it by hand. What I'm going to do here now, I'm going to pour most of this into my mixture, right? Into most of my liquid into my dry mixture. I'm going to put it with your dough, this thing here, and I'm going to start on the low speed, and I'm going to mix it until it's almost together, and I'll come back and show you. Still beating there, mixing rather on the low, okay, and I want to pause it, and at this point I want to slap in some softened butter. Okay, I'm going to be putting in about 2 tablespoons of softened butter, and I'm going to continue mixing on the low. So we are mixing right there, still on the low. We're mixing, let it come together. I'll stop and show you. So let me show you. You want it to mix until it comes real soft and stretchy. Mind you, you don't want to, you want this dough, it's donut, you don't want it to be too stiff, neither too soft, because you're gonna have to do some kneading. So Mine is a bit soft, so what you'll need to do, have a little extra flour if it gets too soft. Be careful how you're putting it though. Just put a tot at a time, maybe like a tablespoon or a teaspoon. You're gonna continue mixing. If it is that it's too stiff, that is why we left the additional milk. Then you would add a little. So we are gonna come back on the low. You're gonna do this, continue mixing, and you're gonna mix and mix, applying a little of the flour until you get it to the right consistency. Or you will know the consistency. It will mix until it starts pulling away from the sides. Not too firm, not too you know. So you notice it's mixing, but you have to give this like a pretty good 8 to 10 minutes on the low here for it to mix and to come together. If you're using your hand, you could do this by hand. If you have the strength like that and your shoulder strong, it will take you a pretty good 15 to 20, 18 minutes thereabout. So we are gonna mix, and if so desire, we're gonna add a little more flour, scrape around the edges, and I'll come back to show you what it looks like when it's pulling away from the sides. So we're still mixing. So we're coming to the consistency that we want. You notice the dough is having that elasticity in there. So I'm gonna show you right here. I'm gonna stop it and I'm gonna show you. The dough is still pretty soft, but we are testing for something. We want to put our hand on it and it doesn't stick. It's still sticking to our hand. Pretty soft, but we'll be there in another maybe 2 to 3 minutes. We don't want it to have added about 2 tablespoons so far of flour in 2 different intervals, and I'm going to be mixing. The more you mix and the more the elasticity comes out, the more the dough comes to what you want it. It comes soft and nice, but it's not sticking to your fingers. So we are going to do that until it's there. The mixing, that prolonged mixing, has a lot to do with the dough being soft and nice, sticky, yet not sticking to your finger. Okay? Look at the movement there, fam. Are you seeing it in the pan, Dad? Okay. Look at the elasticity is forming in the dough. Look at all the mixer. As it moves, as it goes around, it pulls it away from the side. And you see that stretch is being formed. Now we're going to mix it a little more until we have a perfect ball. Most of it coming onto the hook of the mixer. Let me show you. This is it. You notice it takes so long to come off. Look at this. It's still sticking, so we got a little more to go. But even though it's still sticking, look at this. When you go like this, it comes off easily. We're going to mix a little more, and then when we come back, it will be time for us to start or putting our donut dough together. So we should be there now. Look at it, family. As it goes around, it pulls away from the sides. In a minute or two, look at it. It's not sticking to the side anymore. That's what the KitchenAid does. It mixes. So I must tell you, as your mixing progresses, you are to just ramp up your mixture to about medium or going up there onto high. Look at it. Are you seeing it? I hope you are. As it sticks a little and it goes around, it pulls away from the side. So in the next clip, we'll have our dough all ready. Okay, fam, so our dough is out. Not much of a sticking, just a small amount. You could eat that. This is how soft it is. Look at it. So you could probably let me have a little oil. We could use a little oil right here, or we could easily use a little flour. It's donuts. I'm just gonna use a little oil. I don't want to use too much extra flour. I'm gonna put a little oil on my surface. So I'm just gonna be putting a little oil. I've greased my container. Remember, I have to leave it to proof, as with any yeast recipe or yeast dough. So I'm just gonna rub a little here. Look at how soft it is. So you don't want to add. So I'm just gonna add a little oil. Yeah. You don't want the mixer get that knead in there. So it is soft. This is how soft you want your dough coming. Huh? Yeah. So you're gonna put it in there. We're gonna leave it in a very warm place. My kitchen is not warm. It's more than warm. I'm gonna cover. You can cover with a clean towel. Some people prefer to do, Camera Girl personally prefers to do the the plastic wrap. A clean towel is fine. Where I am, it's really at 1 hour to 1 hour and 10 minutes. And in the next clip, we will be proceeding with our donuts. Now family, look at this. Let's deflate this dough. So what I'm about to say to you is, getting this dough to proof, it depends on where you are, the temperature. It shows you, this is like probably about 40 minutes. And it shows you what has happened here. It tells you that where I'm at in Jamaica here, it's pretty hot. So normally it would be an hour, and depending on where you are, if it's like not too warm, it could be an hour and a little more. So it tells you that where I am, it's pretty warm. I'm gonna let my surface there. Family, let me tell you right now, I don't have the perfect surface. These things are better done on a stainless steel work surface. I have here a tray, and I have a piece of parchment paper, and I'm gonna flour the parchment paper, and I'll show you. We're gonna have to proof again. So let me get my dough out. Yeah, on this surface here, we're gonna do a little. Bear in mind, your dough must always be warm. Never try to let it get cold. And mine is really warm right here. So I'm gonna roll out. Look at me. You see how soft this dough is? This is how soft you want your dough to be. Now it is going to be a little, not really tricky. I wouldn't say tricky. I would not say tricky. At this point, you could roll your dough out into a rectangular whatever, and you could also roll it out and, you know, twine it like this, and then form it into balls. Eyeballing. This is how soft it is. Eyeballing it how you want it, you know. I'm gonna be using a little flour. It must be really soft. So you want to get, we're gonna be shaping our donuts now. You want to have your donuts, you want to have your flour, your ball, or you, as I say, you could roll it out. I honestly try to keep away from rolling out, family, because me and the shoulder work there, it's not so nice. So we want to roll this out to about 4 inches. We could put a little more. We don't want it to get too flat because we're going to proof it again. Okay, let me try to get it the right way for you. I really don't like to roll out. The dough is really soft, so you're going to have nice textured donut at the end. Don't mind the little softness of the dough. This is how you want it. Okay, so you're going to roll your dough out. You're not going to too hard on it. Yeah, and we would say about 4 inches right there. Now I don't have a donut cutter per se. You know, every donut come with some little thing in the middle, right? And I would say this is about 4 inches. This glass at the top here is 4 inches across. So you're gonna eyeball it in the middle. That is what I do. You might have all your gadgets. I'm improvising here. So you want to push this, and you want to lift from the bottom, and then you will get your in right there. So you're gonna put your donut down on this piece of paper. Don't worry about that. The first one, they always give that problem. Let's go for a second one. And maybe your cutter, maybe this is too small, so let's get a bigger one. So we have changed. We have used a bigger one, family. Yeah, this was too small. So this is our first donut. I'll show you how I did get it. So we have our extra dough is really soft, nice. So you're gonna have nice donuts. Try to make sure they are accurate, as you're not if you're not measuring and you're not rolling out as I do. Make sure that they're accurate. Let me do one for you one more time. Let me do one for you. You could measure too with your scale, because you don't want to get some bigger than some. But sometimes if that happen, nothing wrong. You're at home, you're making them. Sometimes it's not the perfect shape. You buy them sometimes and they're not the perfect shape, you know. Yeah, but you know what happened? You're doing it at home, so have fun. Okay, this looks like the perfect. So you just eyeball it there to the middle. Look at it. And you put it down. And you ring it around. And you lift from the bottom. And you put it, give them some space because they're gonna rise again. I'm gonna do one more for you. And these that are cut, you just put them back in your dough. Dough must be soft, still not sticking to your hand. That's the old trick. Don't even think about the shapes because as they rise, the shapes will be perfected. Remember, I am not perfecting. I could have been perfecting more, but family, and that's such amount I eat right here. Okay, so you know you do this. Yes, and will look like the perfect. Try to keep it 4 inches across. 4 inches. Give it a little press down with your thing. Make sure a little flour is at the bottom. Eyeball this to the middle. We don't have the perfect stuff here. Move it around. That's where I'm improvising and you learn something today. Not true? Yeah, I did one more for you and this is how it looks. And we are gonna do maybe another 3 more. And when we come back, we'll show you how they look. Almost a perfect but not fully perfect, family. I've not done this in about 20 years. The last time I did donuts, fam, I think Jerry was about 5, 6. What am I talking about? Almost 21 years. I haven't done this in a long time, but it doesn't matter. I still remember. And I had little or no form of anything. I didn't even have as much as I have now. We're going to leave these covered again for about 25 minutes. The temperature is up. Normally, if the temperature is really cool, you would leave it for 45 minutes. We're going to go now. We're going to deep fry them. You could use your deep fryer. You could use a pot. We're going to go now, set our station up for frying. So family, I gave these about 20 minutes and this is what they look like and they are ready to go in the oil. Now my oil is being preheated over here and you don't fry at a very high temperature. Okay, it fries at a really slow pace for about 2 minutes, like about 3/4 of a minute to a minute on each side. Okay, so I'm testing my oil. If I add a thermometer, I would probably tell you, test it to show you, but I really don't. You know, I have one, but it's not the type that I'm supposed to be using. So I'm going to drop a piece of the dough in there and we'll see if we are ready. Also, how long it will take to come up to the top. Might be where to preheat a little more. We're looking at the oil at the end there. All of that. It's pretty near there because you can look and see that this is coming up. You'll see it come up to the top. And then you look at it. Okay, so we are pretty near there. We don't want the oil to get too hot, so let me get my flame down. I think my flame is good as it is, and you're to monitor these. They fry very fast, they take color real fast. Now this is to the top. We're waiting to see that little bubble coming up around there. Not too, you know, not too exciting, not too all of that. Yeah, we don't want it too all of that. We just want, when you put it in, because remember the donut is a bigger mass of dough. So I'm just showing you at the pace at which you are to preheat the oil, or if you're using your deep fryer, it has that temperature thermometer thing there that you can use. I can't bother with it right now because it's so hot here and everything just complicated. You know, we are waiting to see this little bubble come around the skewer here, this wooden skewer. Then you know you're there. It's coming, you can see it's coming. So we are there now, family. We have put in our wooden skewer and you see those little bubbles, you on it, Dad? Coming up from the skewer. So we are gonna come here now. These donuts are gonna be huge. We are gonna take them up gently. Make sure the spot is open. Do not try to put. This is how they're supposed to be in there. You will see as it goes in. You will see how it's frying right there. It's not supposed to be frying at any higher pace. Your heat is on point. Don't do more than 2 of this in any family. We're going to do it like that. And we're going to fry them. Don't try to do more than 2. Don't crowd the pot. So we are going to fry it at that on each side for 1 minute, and when they are ready to turn, we'll just come use our skewer and flip it over. You can see that the yeast is working and all of that, everything is happening. So we are going to come back and show you when they are ready to be flipped. They are ready to be turned, so you use something that you can handle yourself with. And this is how they look, and you leave them to do their thing right there. 1 more minute on the other side. All ready to go. 1 minute on each side, and you want to put them. Wow, they are so soft. I dented that one. I knew they would be so soft. Anybody who love big fat donut? Yeah, extra oversized, extra size. We have some more here. Extension in there. Send treatment. Okay. This is how we are rolling, so they'll fry at that. Look at it. Let's turn our flame down, because as the heat gets hot, you know, so you want to put your thing in there and to gently guide them along. Just glide them through. Don't let them be frying on too much of an high heat. That's why I say if you have your what's that stuff there? If you have your we're doing the other set of dough that we had. See them, they're coming to the top. If you have your deep fryer, it would be good. Okay, so we're gonna finish frying our donuts, and when you see how you're to do them. When we return, we're gonna leave them to be properly cool, because we're gonna be giving them a little glaze. Okay, now fam, I have some chocolate syrup here. I have some icing glaze. So I'm about to maybe my syrup should be in a deeper thing. You're gonna be gentle because these are really soft. We're glazing them, you don't have to. And there are so many ways of glazing them. Let that excess glaze drip. We're going to be glazing a few more of them. Just showing you what we are doing. They should be pretty cool though to do this, to let the glaze hold. So you have gotten the picture. We're going to do the rest and return. So there you have it, family, in the very comfort of your own home, your homemade donuts. Please try them and let me know how it goes with your family, with your kids. It's gonna be so enjoyable. Thanks for watching. Remember to give me a big fat thumbs up. Remember to make sure you're subscribed. Click the notification bell. Press the option that says all. In the description, there will be every link to all my pages, my Patreon, my email, Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, and all of that. You know that. I will give my patrons another version, and in that version I'll show how you can make the filling. I'll show you what I use for my filling. You know, some have that, some have strawberry, some have pineapple, different types of filling. I'll show on that page how I make my filling. Remember to be you, do you. Most of all, love you. Some of these homemade glazed donuts.